Where I am now, better than before, through those open doors. Where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place, a tender walk with grace. Where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. And if you'd like to see us live in WGPL Studio, WMVA 88.9 Studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to 1400 AM, 1350 AM, and you can hear us all over the world. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's Friday, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes. We want to say welcome.
That's right.
To our wonderful, wonderful listeners and viewers, WPCE 1400, WGPL 1350. I'm doing your part.
And peace. 95.3 FM and WMVA 88.9 FM. Good morning to you.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Get yourself over there to YouTube at Crystal Records One. That's CRISTO Records One. Subscribe, follow, say something in the chat, and we promise we'll shout you out. Shout out. Mr. E, fun Friday. It's the weekend. What are you gonna do?
Well, I got to do a little studying because I got a CPR class. Yeah, I got a CPR class that I got to take. So, I'm gonna do a little studying.
Very good. Good morning, Annie Solario. I missed you. You all out there. Make sure you say something in the chat and let us know that you are there.
That's right.
So it is Fun Friday.
It's Fun Friday. Just got paid, got a pocket full of money.
Oh, let's see, you got a pocket full of money. You may not be able to get out of here alive.
They used to say that back in the days of old.
Yes.
It's Friday. I just got paid. I got a pocket full of money going down to the bar.
Oh. Anyway, Mr. E, this is our Friday segment. What's in your closet? Issue concerning women.
That's right. Issues concerning the women, because the women has more issues than a lot of issues. Now. They got a whole lot of issues.
I don't know about that, but I tell you what, we also are celebrating Black History Month.
That's right.
We just welcome Black History. Yeah, some folks say it's just 1 month, but I tell you what, in this month, we can celebrate it. We can teach our children. We can teach other folk about who we are and what we do and what we've done. And so we say happy Black History Month to all you all. But we have a wonderful, wonderful guest, Mr. E. We have Sandra W. BRANDT. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Step Up Incorporated. It's a nonprofit corporation involved in training and job placement, as well as active participants in a number of business, corrections, social service, political, and civic organizations. We want to say good morning to you, Sandra.
Good morning. So happy to be with you on this great Friday morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for what you do. You know, I really, really enjoyed reading your bio. So many accomplishments, so many wonderful things that you've gotten your hands in and serving the community. We want to honor you and say thank you to you for all that you do. You have definitely made an impact and a mark in our world, and we want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about who you are. I want to tell our audience a little bit more of what you do. I'd like for you to share, and then we're going to talk about Step Up Inc. and find out the services and the things that you all do in the community.
Great.
So,
tell us a little bit about
where are you from?
Sure. Oh, so you want me to tell you? Okay.
Yes.
I'm from Boston.
Okay.
And one of my good friends, Senator Angela Williams, says I'm an opera girl. Went to Norfolk, went to school here, went to ABU in Norfolk State, and have been around here for a while, working with our organization that we have, which is October 1st of this year, has been in business 48 years.
Wow.
And during that time, we are working with individuals that are incarcerated in all facilities, whether it's a regional jail or a local jail or a state institution. We also see people from the federal side, bringing them back home, both to their families, transitioning them for employment, making sure that they have some training, if they need additional services, that they don't have an ID, if they need other things such as getting to go to get a birth certificate or social security card, whatever their service needs are, we work with those individuals to find that information, provide it, and of course, our bottom line is being able to get education, making sure they're back with their families, as well as to be productive citizens and have a job and the services they need to be successful.
It says that you've been in assisting since for 32 years, actually, assisting individuals in obtaining their voting rights by providing seminars for returning citizens who meet the criteria. So tell us, you've been in it for a while. What made you go into this particular occupation?
There's two things, a couple of things. I went into this because I had a gentleman I worked with in 1975 who said to me, I want you to write a grant because there's funding out there. And I said, what is it that they're looking for? And he said, you find out the needs and the services. And back then, women who were in jail for prisons were not getting the kind of services that men were getting. So I wrote a grant to help women reunite with their children when they got out of prison or jail, making sure that they were able to get them back and getting the kind of services they need, putting them in what we call non-traditional jobs, which basically were working with unions where they paid more money than minimum wage and they were able to be successful. Not everybody wanted to go in those jobs, but whatever they wanted to go into, we were able to work with them. On the side of restoration of voting rights, I have been working on it, and you may remember a woman named Senator Yvonne Miller.
Yes.
And Senator Miller and she was working on some legislation, and I went, up to Richmond, and I said, this is a passion I have for making sure people get the right to vote. And she said, well, hop on board. She said, I'm trying to make sure we get legislation that we can give people the right to be able to restore the rights to vote. I actually worked with Senator Miller for a few years because when Governor Bob McDonnell was in office, he was forward thinking when it came to looking at restoration, as well as Governor Mark Warner and Tim Kaine, looking at how we can make those changes into legislation and make it easier for people to get the voting rights. And today it's more difficult.
Yeah.
We work hard, and
Senator Miller, a few weeks before she passed away, I went to see her, and she said to me, because we worked hard in political legislation and helped, we did seminars for people to get their voting rights back. Senator Miller said, "You got to carry this on, Senator." And so we had a constitutional amendment this year in the General Assembly. They have pulled that constitutional amendment because it takes a 2-year cycle, so they figure the General Assembly and basically Democrats, I'll be very, very political here, Democrats believe in this whole issue of giving people the voting rights back. So they decided this year was not a good year, so they pulled the legislation. They're putting in next year. Senator Mamie Bach was the patron of the bill, and so they pulled it. So we're putting it in next year, and the reason is that we want to be on the put it in the Constitution of Virginia, so that we don't have to mess around with this anymore. That the Constitution says that we will be able to have everybody have the right to vote when they walk out of the jail or prison. So we're working on that for a number of years. So lots of folks in our area.
Senator, we know when we begin to talk, I was going to call you Senator. When we begin to talk about this project that you have called Step Up, and how you describe that project for criminals who have been incarcerated for a long time. I felt some kind of way, some kind of nervousness that jumped into my belly. Why would you go this far to try to get folk out of incarceration back into civilization? They don't even do that for the military. Why would you even go that far as trying to give them a way to get back into society?
Well, my thought is every single person is eligible for a second chance. Some people are getting, I'm going to give you a good example for a gentleman that was 17 years old and was in a fight at 17 with some folks. One of the people stepped down and resulted in him kind of pushing. The person died. He went to jail for 43 years.
Mm.
The person was the most sweet person I have ever met in a setting. He got training inside the correctional facility. He did lots of things for himself. He came out and he got a job and ended up getting 2 jobs. And he said to me, we were sitting in a Soulful restaurant for the Christian, and I turned around and looked and said, he said, "Miss Grant, when I went to prison, this road out here was a dirt road." And he was out 3 years, working hard, being successful in what he did. And unfortunately, because of a health issue, passed away. The reason I did this is I was talking to one of my staff this morning. We were talking about this very issue because he does some programs Bikers for Christ. And one of the things that I felt very intelligent about is the Lord says you got to help people. You got to get them out. You got to help them. You got to give them a second chance. And that's why we are in the business that we are in right now, is to give people a second chance. Now, you have to bring them in and have to be able to provide them the tools that they need to be able to do that. And, people, good Lord said that you don't have to bring anybody to bring them in. You serve them. And that's what we did. We help people to get the options that they need. We even have people that have come to us from other countries that need to get green cards, that need to be able to work, or were born in other countries and need a birth certificate in that country. So we do a lot of different things in our agency, but the bottom line is family education, working with them to get them trained if they need training, or to make sure that they get a job that is paying living wage or higher, because people these days need that. And the other thing is housing. If there is a need out there that we have, is for people to be able to provide housing, to individuals that are coming back home. And that is one of the biggest issues we have. And a lot of people these days have for their private vendor in housing. They own it. They own their apartment complexes. Our folks make a, pay an application fee. They try to get into it because they have an offense with housing organizations to a background check it, and they reject them. So it's very difficult for them to get housing. So we try to, to get a list of people who are willing to take people in housing. That is a major issue. So if any of your listeners out there have anything that they would like to provide housing for individuals that are coming home from prison, I will tell you that some families don't want their loved ones back with them. If they have been issues where there is an offense against someone in the family, and they are not allowed to go back. So they need some kind of housing. So that's kind of some of the issues that we are facing here today when people come back home.
So does anybody that's coming out of prison or jail, they qualify? Do you have, some kind of guidelines or rules and regulations? Who can be, who you all can help?
Anybody that comes out of any of the facilities, as long as they've had a misdemeanor, they're 18 years of age and older, they can come to call us up, come to our agency. We take walk-ins. We also make appointments for folks if they want to come in to get services. Whatever individuals need. We're pretty much here to be able to help them, and they can make a call or send a walk-in to our agency.
Can you share maybe a success story or two, something that really stands out in as you all have served through Step Up?
Yeah, I have. This goes back many years. We had a young man that was actually just turned 18. He had stolen a car, and his parents, kind of specifically his father, said, "Oh, I need to do with you anymore. You're a criminal. I don't want nothing to do with you." He came to see us. He was 18 years of age. We were able to get him a house, a place to stay. We were able to get him a job. And he then became a supporter, I consider a supporter of our agency, came to work with us for about a year. And he did a lot of technical stuff. Every time our computers were down, he worked on them, but he also did a couple of other things around our agency. And today, he's still out there. It's been over 30 years that he was a client of ours. And he's been successful. He's worked a lot of government jobs where he's each time gone up in those jobs and been very successful. And, one day he called me and said, "I have a new computer that I just bought and I don't like it anymore. Can I bring it to your agency and donate it?" And I said, "Of course."
Wow.
"Why would you not like the new computer?" He said, he was just into computers. So he's providing stuff. He also comes, if I need technical assistance, sometimes he'll call me and say, "Let me walk you through it." So very successful in what he did and makes good money today and gives back to the community. And as I mentioned, the gentleman earlier that we've had many people have been very successful that come in. Some of our folks that Travis Mays, that you may have seen, has been doing some work in Portsmouth and other places with getting guns off the street and working successfully, came to us and wanted to get into some training and get a job. And recently saw him in Portsmouth doing wonderful things that he's doing. So there's been so many success stories that we have. Do we have people that came home and was doing well and went back to prison? Sure. I'd be crazy if I didn't say that we had that. Not very often, but we do occasionally have someone that comes in and for whatever reason gets back in the wrong crowd and doesn't have to go back.
Yes.
But that's not as much as we see, because we really do follow up with people to find out how successful they are, and how they're doing, and if they. And then we've had people that we've gotten a job, they've been successful, they got laid off from a job, they come back to us and we help them get another job.
Absolutely. That was my next question about, those that do return, because that is a reality. Not everybody, comes out and sustains themselves and able to, stay out. But how important is it for families to kind of embrace those that have been incarcerated? Is that one of the reasons why sometimes they can't survive once they get out?
Yeah, it's most of the time I get a lot of calls in our agency from sisters, brothers, mothers, who call and say, my son is in X prison, whatever it might be, across the state of Virginia, or if it's federal prison, it may be in Oklahoma, it might be federal prison in Petersburg, or wherever. And a family member will call us and say, I need your help in making sure, excuse me, that my loved one gets back home and gets a place to live. And a lot of times, sometimes people will call and say, because of the nature of the crime, and I'll be very honest, if someone sexually assaulted a family member, they will not be able to go back there by law.
Wow.
They will not be able to come back to their home because of the nature of the offense. And the aggrieved person may still be living in the home. And so they are responsible then to find their own home plan with their counselor in prison. Which brings up the fact that we get a letter, 2 to 3 letters a day from inmates across the state of Virginia, across the country. They're coming back to Virginia, specifically to our catchment area, which I don't think I mentioned, which is Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Allouez County, Franklin, Suffolk, Southampton, Eastern Shore, and all the way across Hampton and Newport News up to Williamsburg. So we work with people in all those jurisdictions. And we have family members who say, because of whatever reason, I moved out into a senior living center anymore, and my loved one can't come live with me because they won't allow anybody to live where I live. So it is a major issue, bringing somebody home. That plan usually is worked with the individual that is their counselor in the prison, and they connect with us. We have what we call peer support specialist, and that person works with people prior to release. If they need, how are they getting home from prison? How are they getting home from the jail? Is somebody picking them up? Do they have a bus pass? Is there a family member going to pick you up? We find out what their specific needs are, whether they need to make an appointment with B&B or walk in, or if they need health care. We work with people who've been inside and had Medicaid, and when they get outside, we try to help them transition continually back on Medicaid, if they're eligible still. A lot of people are eligible incarcerated because all inmates get Medicaid when they're incarcerated. But when they get out, they may not be eligible. So we try to give them health care. The gentleman I mentioned earlier, who was so successful and unfortunately passed away, he walked in our office, his legs were like huge. I said, "Do you ever worry retention problems?" And he said, "I don't know why." I said, "Good age, always got bars." And he said, "Not really." We immediately made an appointment for him at the big clinic. He went the same day, and he was able to get a prescription, and which helped him immensely with his healthcare problems. So it's not only the housing issues, but the healthcare issues for folks when they come out. All people that come out of prison are eligible for SNAP. SNAP program, which is the food stamp program, until they're able to get settled and until they're able to get employment, so they're able to get food stamps so they can eat. So we do a lot of all that. Mental health is another major issue that we face right now. People coming out of prison and or jails. And one of the things I think the General Assembly is going to do this year is hopefully put some more money in the mental health program. And we are deficient in Hampton Roads when it comes to locations to place mental health individuals and be able to get immediate care sometimes. So hopefully that can be expanded. That's some of the issues that we take a look at.
Absolutely. Mr. E has a question, but I want to ask you something real quick about your work with women voting. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That one, I'm sorry.
You have worked with women's programs, the American Association of University of Women, and so on. Can you just talk to us a little bit about some of the organizations? Yes.
I'm actually the public policy volunteer. One of my volunteer things is on the public policy person for the Virginia Beach American Association of University Women. We work with women. NAPA has a chapter. We have several chapters in the area. And we work with the community colleges and colleges that are in specifically in Virginia Beach. Whether it be ODU, Virginia Wesleyan, and some of the other universities. We work with young women to help them to get involved in the STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programming. We need more young women to be able to get into those programs, and that's where a lot of the money is. That's where a lot of issues stand for women to be able to, to move to take jobs like NASA and other places. We're all reminded of the movie Hidden Figures.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
We have brilliant women from the Black community, and this is Black History Month. And I just did a series on Rosa Parks for Black history. So in my opinion, that's the first civil rights heroine that we've had in the movement. And she did so much that she divided James Blake, and he said, move forward back to the colored section. So I'm very,
absolutely.
Someone
Yes.
said about as a little girl, and so I was able to get a job and afford a car and I had 2 jobs. I worked to go to college and rode a bus. I appreciate her and what she did. She did every single day.
Absolutely.
So,
yes,
we not stop getting women involved in different jobs in different areas and pay for them to go to conferences on that.
Absolutely. We have a couple of minutes. I want to know what Step Up Inc. needs. What are some of the needs that the community can help this organization with?
Well, as I said, we always need people who can help us with housing. There's individuals that come home. I know we've had a couple of home areas where people have been able to, be able to go in and share a room, to a home. And so we need people to be acceptable of people coming back for housing. As I said earlier, the other thing is I think we have a lot of food insecurity. I am on the food advocacy board, and I'm always advocating for this cycle of the General Assembly advocated for a bill that would help to provide more food coming in our area and would also basically change the dynamic of when we got minimum wage increases of the SNAP benefit. Because we don't want, when people get a raise in minimum wage, we want to be able to increase the wage for food, for SNAP benefit. So food is another thing, and I think just general services for people being open about hiring folks.
Yes.
And be able to talk with them about that.
Absolutely. Can we have your contact information? Our listeners and viewers would love to hear more about it and see if you're online so they can see what they can do.
Right. Our phone number is 757-8831-1. And we have a website that has application on it if people want to fill that out to work. It's www.stepup.incorporated.org.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Sandra. BRANDT from Step Up Inc. God bless you and all the work that you and your organization are doing.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be on the show today. You all are a blessing to what you do, and thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Look, you all come over here for a little bit. We want to share some things about our upcoming Super Bowl activity and some other things from FYI Radio Morning Show. Be blessed. I want to also mention a family. I want you all to keep them in your prayers. Miss Alvera Chesson and her family. Alvera passed away, and she's going to have her homegoing service on this weekend. You all keep everyone up in prayer. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend.
To get to this place.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WPCE 1400. 95.3 FM, WMVA 88.9, and WGPL 1350. And for more information, give us a call, 757-714-7861. Thank you. Well, but you?
Ooh, boy, oh boy, that was a lot of information. We want to thank our special guest, Miss Sandra, I'm sorry, let me get it right, Sandra W. BRANDT. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Step Up Incorporated. And that's folk, Mr. E, that's coming out of incarceration, getting a second chance. They provide so many things. And they also deal with voting rights. You know, at one time, honey, you wouldn't even be able to go look at a voting machine or vote, cast your vote. Nowhere have you been in prison or anything like that. But people like Sandra and her organization will help people to get their votes restored to them, their ability to vote, and so on and so on. They help them to just get back into the community with education and job opportunities. And we want to say thank you so much, Ms. BRANDT.
You know, it's a wonderful program that they have out here for those who are incarcerated, those who have did crime and now ready to come back into the society. And they need to know what to do, how to get back in it. Because once they go into incarceration, that's a total different world. It's a different ball game. Because life, they figured, it changes right then and there when they are incarcerated. And what happens when they come out, they got to be brought up to speed. They got to know what bag of tater chips look like. And, you know, but now I take that back, because now prisons has changed. Where it's just like being on the outside, but to get their rights restored back to them. And this is what they do. They for re-entry, to get them back on point, to allow them to be able to have their privileges back, you know, get DMV, places to live for just a little while, and give them into an organization. This organization helped them to, I don't know how long the program may be, but it helps them to regain their mobility back, to regain their life back, because they don't want to walk around with a label on them saying, "Hey, look, I've been incarcerated for such a long time."
Well, I wanted to ask you a question, because you brought up a point, and maybe people are thinking about it, Mr. E. You said that, hey, these folks not doing it for the military. You know, this program is for folks that have done wrong, you know, crimes and things like that, and they're getting a second chance. What made you ask that question?
You know, Ms. Hinton, because there's a lot of people that's out here today that's doing things out and about. They do things for everything else but for our veterans. Our veterans, because they say they got a GI Bill, that GI Bill supposed to take them all for the rest of their life. It doesn't take them for the rest of their life. When a man or woman who has been in the military, their lifestyle has changed. I knew a friend of ours that's been on our show, Mr. Jason. He said that he was a lieutenant colonel in the military. And when he got out of the military, he had to put a lieutenant colonel in his bag and bring out his Jason Baker back into the world, because he was around there thinking that, Hey,
it would carry through, throughout.
that
It was
military,
like once it was over, you're saying.
that's right.
That's
Once they get out of the military, they still has that military mindset.
Uh-huh.
Just like folks getting in, going to prison and going to penitentiary, they still has that penitentiary mindset. So now they have to be revamped back into society. The military personnel need to know that there's help for them, because there's a lot of people that got shell shock and things of that nature by being in military. Just like, for example, mental illness. Just like, for example, when we saw the 3 African American soldiers, young soldiers, that got killed by a drone. Your life passed right before your very eyes. And so there are some who've been a part of that, can see a drone and freak out. And because a drone is a toy that everybody playing with. But in war, it's not a toy. In war, it's a gun. It's something that your enemy use against you to destroy you.
Well, do you think that there's enough programs for? I know we're talking about vets, but for vets and for those that have been incarcerated, are there enough programs?
I don't think there's enough programs around for veterans. I don't think so. But I do believe there's a lot of program that is around for incarceration, folks who've been incarcerated. There's a lot of programs around for men and women who has family members who has been incarcerated, where families had to go. Yes, I believe that they need to have more programs for veterans.
Absolutely. We want to say again, hello, Miss Annie Celerio. Sheila Robbins, how are you? I was just mentioning our friend Peaches, Sheila and my friend. We grew up with her, and she was a really good friend of ours. She passed away on last Saturday. Her homegoing is tomorrow, and we just want you all to keep the family in prayer. Peaches, we call her Peaches, was a beautiful woman. A wonderful friend, and she is so missed by her family. They are really, really taking this, hard into heart because they loved her so much and she loved them. So you all keep them in prayer, her sisters, her brother, her mom and them, and her daughters and her grandchildren. Please pray for their family, that they would just heal and they can get through this hard time.
And she was a great supporter, FYI, so our heart goes out for her to let her know that, look, we're with you, we're with your family. I want to say good morning to Kevin Fields, along with Mr. Jerome, Ed Jerome Snow. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to FYI Radio Show, and to all of those who's on LinkedIn as well as Facebook Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. We had a very great special guest, Miss SANDRA BRANDT. With a program called the Step Up Program. And if you know someone who has been incarcerated, getting ready to get out of, and they need to be reentry into society, all you have to do is pick up that telephone and give them a call at 757-588-3151. That's 757-588-3151, or email them at information@stepupincorporation.org, or go by 5900 Virginia Beach Boulevard, Suite 102 in the city of Norfolk, Virginia.
Absolutely. Mr. Philip Plum, good morning. Valerie Watson Anderson, good morning. Jasper Willis, good morning. Thank you all for coming on and being a part of what we do. Thank you for your support. We're almost going. Mr. E wanted to serve a little bit of tea, but look.
I got to serve this tea. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got to give you some tea.
Okay.
I got to give you this tea.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. E.
I got to get my teacup. Let me serve you a little bit of tea.
Where's my tea bag?
I guess what mine is. My tea bag is real piping hot. Here, you want to share tea bags? Listen to me. I want y'all to understand there's some stuff going around. That Monique and Kevin Hart and D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, and Tyler Perry, all those comedians in that comedian vein. There's a lot of mess going. Cat Williams. There's a lot of mess going on. I'm quite sure some of y'all have heard it because it's not in the church realm. I'm quite sure Some of y'all have heard about what's going on, and we're gonna do a segment one time or one day. Is we want you to tell us what you think about that. Do you really think that Monique is really putting on or telling the truth, or is she selling flies and telling lies?
But Mr. E, sometimes I think it's so good marketing out here because when
Oh,
you
she getting the
do
numbers.
the negative, and not just for her, but the comedians across the board, when you do the negative, people just run to it, and that allows you to become even more popular. People begin to pay attention to what's going on. They run and if you say something, just like Monique say something about Hughley, then they gonna run over to Hughley and hear what he got to say, and and then when they come out with their shows and their presentations, people just run to it because they want to know what you gonna say. Monique is still talking about Oprah and Tyler Perry, Hughley, and it is getting messy in these social media streets. But that's the game.
That's right. And I think what they're doing is getting all that social media for numbers. It's just like getting all the talk back so they can get recognized. I mean, Monique, come on now.
That's what it is.
Sometimes folk need to just stay in the lane. If you're not wanted, girl, have several seats.
But look, it is so much going on in the political world. It's a lot. I mean, pure drama.
I can't wait for that drama, mama.
Oh,
because here I want to see the clink, clink, clink. What's that song that you made up?
Clack, clack.
Clack, clack.
They clack. Tell the kids clack, clack. Don't do right, you're going to get clack, clack.
But here's the thing I want to say to all those Republicans out there. I'm going to say it.
Ooh.
To all those Republicans. Go back in the days of old in the 60s when they used to sing that song, Chain, Chain, Chain.
Anyway, Mr. E, while we're talking about political, they said that Biden would not face any charges.
That's right. That's right.
Having those secret papers and stuff, but they're still, Jack Smith and them are still going to look at what happened with the former President Trump and see if, there's
the citizens, you say.
The citizen,
Trump,
man,
the citizen, Trump, the citizen.
And that's some tea right there, Mr. E, because they said that he is not immune. Remember that was a big thing, and
that's right.
Federal court was going to go and see if this is something that he could be immune from or not. Well, it's not.
He can't get out of it.
And that ain't tea. That's real truth.
And guess what? You still might see his name on the ballot.
Oh yeah, they did that yesterday, which is fine. Hey, get on the ballot.
Yeah,
it's up to the people.
You still can see his name on the ballot, but it's up to you. See, the votes don't count. That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
You can't tell people that when you also tell them to get out there and vote. Your vote counts. Don't listen to Mr.
But
your vote counts.
Yeah, your vote do count. But if you vote for Trump, it don't count.
You thought it don't count if he's not on the ballot.
If it's on the ballot,
right in.
That's right.
But anyway, we're going to be serving more tea. But Mr. E, we're excited about the Super Bowl.
That's right.
What about
that's
you
right.
all?
Miss Hinton, when we begin to look at the Super Bowl, I begin to think about how they got there. I begin to look at the trail of how they got to the
Well, I tell you,
Super
tell us
Bowl.
who got there. Who's there?
The only team that's out there for this Super Bowl is the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, what a game.
On Monday, our good friend, Mr. What's his name, will be our special guest, Brian. He's a Super Bowl, he's a fanatic. San Francisco 49er fanatic, and come win, lose, we made a pact. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to be our special guest on FYI radio show Monday Sports Talk.
That's going to be wonderful. Look, y'all pop in. We're going to be popping in.
Your prediction.
We're going to, I can't do it. I can't do it to myself. It's too much stress along with it. But anyway, we're going to be looking off and on. You all can join us. Send us your email address. We'll be coming on a little while on live to just share with you all and just have a fun time. So don't forget to inbox us your email address or just join us if you like on all our social media platforms, okay? But look, we're getting ready to go. Thank you so much for what you do. We have some great upcoming shows and everything. So don't forget to join us. Don't forget to join us for FYI After Dark.
After dark,
6 p.m. And then look, Valentine's Day. Look, I'm going to let you all know what we're going to do on Valentine's Day. We want you all to participate. So we'll get that information. Don't forget the Royal Ladies Pie. You can inbox me for orders. Don't forget bulvickacademy.com. Don't forget, go to it, BULVIC, the game app, the books, the course. And don't forget Crystal Records, Yolanda's new music. We're getting ready to feature my new single. That's coming real soon. So look, Mr. E, tell them how they can be a special guest sponsor or intern with FYI.
If you'd like to be a special guest sponsor or intern of the most talked about radio show in the world, all you have to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861 or inboxes at Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton's Facebook page, or FYI Facebook page, or email us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com. Again, that's FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for more FYI Radio Show.
I tell you what, you all be blessed. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to pop on with us on Sunday for the Super Bowl.
My predictions?
Yeah, your prediction, Mr. E.
My prediction will be the San Francisco.
What?
That's right.
We shall see. I tell you
I
what.
got permission to team up with them.
Oh, all right, Missy. Well, listen, you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Be blessed, and we'll see you back here on Sunday evening.
2 up, 2 down, VA. Bye now.
Bye.